Yehoshua Grunstein, and it's a pleasure to share a Dvar Torah with you towards this week's Parsha of Vayakhel Pekudei. Right at the beginning of the Parsha, there's a very strange pasuk. Vayakhel Moshe et kol adat bnei Yisrael vayomer alehem. Moshe gathered all the Jewish people and said to them. And then, of course, the next few psukim talk about Shabbos and, of course, the building of the Mishkan. Why is it so important to begin with the clause that he first gathered them and then spoke to them? Obviously, if Moshe Rabbeinu wants to give a message to the Jewish people in a world without WhatsApp, email, and whatnot, he has to gather them. He has to use whatever loudspeaker they had at the time and talk to them. So why is it so important for us, as we lay in this Parsha thousands of years later, to know that Moshe Rabbeinu gathered the people before actually talking to them? And allow me to sharpen the question. The Ramban picks up on this and says, and I quote, Yichlol kol adat b'nei Yisrael ha'anashim v'hanashim. He actually ensured that all the Jewish people were included in this pronouncement that he was about to say, Ki kulam itnatvu b'melechet hamishkan, because everybody was so gracious and indeed volunteered for building the Mishkan. Once again, obviously, if he has to give a message to all these people, he gathered them. Why is it so important to know that he gathered them? I would like to suggest that this is indeed a message for us. Never start a Dvar Torah with a Dvar Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu had a message. It was about Shabbos, the building of the Mishkan, and whatnot. He didn't start with the dugri, as we say in Hebrew, with the actual message. He started with salutations and small talk. Because when you start a Dvar Torah with the Dvar Torah, it doesn't usually show that the Torah is part of life, or allow me to say it differently. If you're eating a meal, and you're talking about politics, you're talking about life, you're enjoying having a nice conversation with friends, and all of a sudden, you stop it all and you say, okay, let's hear Dvar Torah. You're in essence putting a partition, a mechitza, between the Torah and life. Life was the enjoyable conversation before and after the Dvar Torah, and all of a sudden you put up a mechitza and you said, okay, now we have to hear our Dvar Torah. Perhaps this is what Chazal meant when they said in Masechet Avot, Shnayim she'yoshvin, two people that are sitting, ve'en beneihem divrei Torah, and between them, as they're sitting, there's no divrei Torah. Hareze moshav leitzim, it's an actual joke. The whole meal is not elevated to a meal that's worth anything. In a word, the way to give a Dvar Torah is to let the Torah flow naturally from the conversation. If you're talking about how hot it is, then maybe give a Dvar Torah about the environment, global warming, and our obligation. If you're talking about shul, give a Dvar Torah about what you do in shul. But to go ahead and to actually give a Dvar Torah, be it about Shabbos, be it about the Parsha, be it about anything, that's totally and utterly disconnected from the meal and from the conversation, that unfortunately people may think that the Torah has nothing to do with life. Yes, we'll keep the Torah. Yes, we'll listen to Moshe. We'll build the Mishkan. We'll keep Shabbos. But real life is what we do before and after. I remember years ago that Moreno Rabbeinu Rav Amital telling us that he never told his kids to learn with him. He never sat down and said, okay, it's time to learn together. But Baruch Hashem, his son Rav Yoel, did want to learn with his father and became actually a Rebbe in Yeshivat Shalabim. And he explained it in a very simple way. He saw me learning, and he naturally also wanted to learn with me. I believe that's the way that Moshe Rabbeinu taught us to give a Dvar Torah. When you give a Dvar Torah, let it flow naturally from the meal and from the conversation at the meal. Let it flow naturally from the conversation you're having, because this way, the Torah is not a part from life, but rather part of life. So first Moshe Rabbeinu gathers the people, starts with salutation, starts a conversation, and within that conversation, he let the words of Torah flow naturally into Shabbos and the building of the Mishkan. Let's hope that our Divrei Torah follow this beautiful legacy of Moshe Rabbeinu.